Alright, I think I'm live. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully I am. You should be seeing my screen with Premiere Pro on it. You should be hearing my voice. And you should be thinking to yourself, why am I watching this? And if all that is happening, then we are in good shape. I'm probably just going to stall here for a minute as a couple of people join in. Hopefully, a couple of people join in. And as I check the stream here, because I'd like to be able to monitor the chat so that way I can chit-chat with people. But I also have to have my screen on full screen. So that way, there we are. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I've got it open on my phone so I can monitor the chat. And I think this is going to work. Let's see here. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I haven't done any, live broadcasts since college. This is interesting. Now, I really want to be able to chat with people, so I'm trying to get open the actual video, so that way I can see what people are typing. Ooh, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Okay, so I opened up the YouTube app. Yeah! And then I've got it on my phone. And then I've got my phone. Yeah, right here. Okay, if anybody wants to say hi, please do in the chat, because now I can monitor the chat and I can speak with everybody. So basically what I want to do here today is I'm going to edit a silently cooking video. This is going to be the next one that I'm going to release on Monday. And please let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can hear my computer okay, and if you can't, I don't really know if there's much I can do about it. I'm using this program here, which you can probably see on your screen, called OBS, whatever, OBS version 25.0.1. So I just clicked the X. Are you sure you want to exit? No, I don't. Thank you, OBS, for making sure that I didn't do something dumb. So I'm trying to make sure that this is actually working. And my computer's running a little bit slow because I think it's like, hey, I've never done this before. And also, I'm old as hell. This computer was built in, I think 2014 was when I built it. And I don't know if any of you Eagle Eye viewers can notice, but I'm actually running Windows 7 because I didn't future-proof myself and build this with a motherboard that can support Windows 10. So that's a little bit concerning to me that this actually won't work because I don't have a very good motherboard, but we shall see. So I am still in the chat here, and if anybody wants to say anything and say hi, then I can answer all sorts of different questions that you guys might have about my process and, what goes into making a silently cooking video. Like I mentioned, what I'm going to be doing here today is assembling the next silently cooking video. You might be asking yourself why I'm not in front of the camera actually doing some cooking, and the reason is simple, because I don't really have any really good camera that would allow me to set up in my kitchen to do a live stream. Quality is super important to me, and honestly, I just really don't want to do a stream until I'm able to hook up my DSLR to a laptop or something like that. I just really don't want to use a webcam because I just think webcams don't really look good, and so I don't want to do that. But one day I will. I'm going to figure out a way to hook up my DSLR to OBS, which there is a way, and if anybody has any tips or tricks on what kind of capture cards I should be buying or looking into to make that happen, I shoot on the Canon 6D. I have Magic Lantern installed into that operating system in the camera. And then if anybody's interested, I also shoot on Rokinon lenses. I've got the Cine lenses, and then I've got two Lowell lights, two halogen lights that I use for silently cooking. For editing, I use Premiere Pro, which is what I'm going to be doing here today. So I've got all these media clips here that I organize into this little folder here called Media, and then right above it I keep all my graphics for the different titles and things that I add over the video. And what I do here is I just go into media and I kind of just shoot everything in order, more or less. I don't really have any storyboards or shot lists that I go off of. Just because it's just me making these videos, I honestly just keep it in my head and kind of just improvise a little bit while I'm shooting these things. But what I usually do is I'll start at the top, I'll see what I got going, and then I'll just drop it on the timeline as I go. So one thing that I'm doing with Silently Cooking More is I'm actually starting with the finished project at the top of the video. So in this one, I'm making beans on toast. And there it is. That's the beans, that's the toast. And so I've got a really nice panning shot here that I liked. There it is. This is the... No, not that one. Is it this one here? I believe it might be... No, that's the one where I take a... Oh, no, this is it. This is it. There it is. Nice little pan there. So I like to start my videos out with this sort of pan now so you can get like a final view of what you're looking at. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the beginning and I'm going to wait for the pan to stop. And then I'll just set my in point on my video. I'll watch the pan through in real time. And then once it gets to the end, I'm going to stop, hold for a couple of seconds, and then naturally I feel like I can cut right there. And then I just drop it onto the timeline. And there she is. You should be able to hear this as well. If you can't, sorry, I don't know if I'll be able to figure it out. But I should have my desktop audio streaming into the video as well, not just my, microphone here. And again, if anybody has any questions about what I'm doing, what I do with Silently Cooking, say hi and chat with me, dudes, because I wanna talk with people as well. I don't want to just edit this video. So here's my shot. I've got it on my timeline here. And what I'm going to do with this, oh good, this is 10 seconds. That's about what I wanted it at. So what I did is... Makos 2004 says, man, no wonder I'm addicted to your videos. I'm glad that you're addicted to my videos. They're all free, after all. And if anybody has any... Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to make a request. If anybody has any requests for Silently Cooking, let me know. I'm in a mode right now where I'm just not really sure what I want to make nowadays. So if you have any requests, let me know. I made lasagna last, and I did an apple pie. This is the beans on toast. In between there, oh yeah, I made rolls. And I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier nowadays. So I guess, you know, I don't really want to keep doing like pizza and pasta and everything like that. If anybody has any ideas that aren't just like a boring salad, because salad is boring. You know, there's no good audio with salad. That's the thing. Let's see. Quake120 says, where did you learn to cook? Is it what you do for a living? No, it's not. I'm an editor for a living. I'm a videographer and an editor for a living. I'm not a cook at all. I'm a home cook. I'm an enthusiast. So I started in 2014. 2012, I graduated from college. I went to Oneonta University, studying mass communications and film production. And then since I graduated college, I've been working. I worked for about 5 years in the news industry. So I live in Albany, New York. I worked as a videographer, photographer for WRGB Channel 6 News in Albany. And then now I am a content creator, media producer for the Floor Marine Propulsion Company in Niskayuna. So a lot of video work has been how I've been making my bread and butter since I got out of college. Cooking has been a passion of mine. I taught myself how to cook while I was in college, so that way I wouldn't have to pay for the sham that is college dining. So I didn't have to do that, and I learned how to feed myself, and I just kind of never stopped, and I love cooking. It is my passion. Editing is also my passion, though. This is actually what I do for a living, which I can say I am maybe not an expert at, but pretty good at. So let's get back to editing. And again, if you have any questions, ask me, because I can... I mean, I guess I'm not that good at editing and working at the same time, but I'm sure going to try. Let's see here. So I got the idea it would be fun, too, after I get this first shot of the beans on toast, I'm going to go to this smash cut of this water going into this bowl here. I like to start my action right when the action starts. So like right here, this frame right here is where we see the water coming in. I don't like any dead space, just like with, I guess, like cooking a steak. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't trim the fat off of the steak. I do like fat on a steak. But like if I want to trim the fat off of some kind of meat, you know, to get a leaner product, that's how I look at editing. I want my product as lean as possible. So right when the water hits, that's actually where I want to start this video. And I'm just going to press play. That seems enough for me. I'm going to go back a couple of frames. I'm going to drop that into my timeline. So now we've got this beans on toast, which over the beans on toast right here is going to be the logo silently cooking. And that comes in and that is animated over the top. And I've got another question here from Quake again. I do great work. I love your videos. Everything looks so delicious. I cook as well, but I'm not as good as you are. Thank you for the answer. Nah, you're probably better than I am. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, right here, I'm going to play this back. We've got the water coming in, and then I want to punch out. So I moved my camera, I punched out. And then, let's see here. I don't want to watch the whole thing of this filling up, because this is boring. It kind of looks cool. You know, I like the bubbles. But this is dumb. I don't want to watch this for a long time. So I'm going to wait until after I filled up the teapot again. And I'm going to go forward. Okay, so let's go just to the end here. All right, so I'm going to actually work reverse in this. I'm going to stop where I want the video to stop, where I want to cut to the next bit, and then I'm going to rewind, and that's where I'm going to start my video. So what I mean by that is, let's see. Let's say like right there. That's where I want the video to stop. That's where I want my next cut to be after the water goes in. I'm going to set my out point there, and I'm going to rewind. And I want to see a little bit of that water. That's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you've noticed, I do this kind of like, I'll hit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do that because I think that is my own sort of internal lag for setting into inputs and outputs. When I click stop, where I want the cut to be, I feel like my reaction time is a little bit delayed. So actually what I do is I go back or forward about 3 to 5 frames each time. It's just something I started doing back when I was working in the news industry, and I never stopped, and I like doing it. So now what we have is we've got the first shot of the beans, them good beans, which is going to have the silent cooking logo on it, and then we're going to go forward. We're going to see the water start to come in. We're going to cut to where the water's already filled. And then the next part, we're actually going to do a jump cut because I got lazy and didn't want to move my camera yet again. I'm going to cut to where I'm putting in these dried peppers. So I got 2 dried New Mexico peppers. Excuse me, I burped. From my grocery store. Oh, my mom's on the chat. She says, did your dad have an influence on your cooking, son? LOL! All caps with 2 exclamation points. Yeah, of course. Dad cooked all the good food, good food, and I ate it all. And whenever Dad made food, I knew I was gonna be happy, and so that's what helped me learn to cook. However, I couldn't cook too often because my dad got mad because I didn't clean up after myself while I cooked, and I understand that. Now my motto is clean as you cook. And I tell that to my wife all the time. Does she listen? Of course she does. I don't know if she can hear me right now. She really doesn't. She doesn't listen to me at all. I always have to clean up after her while she's cooking. I don't know if she can hear me. I think I'm safe. So let's get back to the video. Oh, Mom says something else again. She says, I see Santa's face in the water. Cool. I don't. But he's in there, I'm sure. Maybe somewhere in there is Santa Claus. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to find that shot of the peppers going in. Let's see here. So these peppers, I thought that they would go to the bottom of the jar. They didn't, and they just kind of floated up. And then I put these beans in, and the beans went everywhere.
That didn't work at all.
And then I got disappointed, and I said that it didn't work at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop that in there, and I'm going to work on that later on because, well, let's see what I can do here. So this is where I started talking.
That didn't work at all.
Okay.
Oh,
That's talking. We don't want talking in this because this is silently cooking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go 5 frames out. I'm going to make a cut point here, and I'm going to delete that because I don't want that. So now it's going to end right here. There we go. All right, so I want a shot of the peppers going in. That's good enough. Now the next shot I want is the beans going in. And again, right on the action. I just want to go right to where the beans start going in. So I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to bring these 2 clips together. So that way I've got a jump cut in there. Right after the peppers are done going in, the beans just start going right in. And then I stopped again because I got disappointed and shouted that nothing worked. But then what I did here is I've got this sort of moment where I'm like trying to push the peppers down. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of funny. So I guess you can watch that for a second. As I get in there. Okay, I get fed up, I walk away. I'm going to have a cross dissolve there to where these beans are soaked. Again, so that's where I want to stop. I'm going to rewind so that way I can set my in point. Okay. I'm probably going to have to cut this a little bit more for time because this is just boring, just watching this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, all right, beans go in. I'm fiddling with these peppers. I'll stop right there. So I'm going to cut all that out. Now, at this point in the video, I'm 30 seconds into the video, and not much has happened, so honestly what I'm thinking to myself now is that I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut this up later. I don't really think I want to do it now while I'm live on streaming, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push on forward, and I'll come back to this part later. I like to try and keep silently cooking as snappy as possible, so getting to 32 seconds and 3 frames, and all I've done is put some water in a bowl with a couple of peppers, in my opinion is a little bit boring, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back later. I'm going to try and make that a little bit better. This is the next shot where it is the next day. So after I've soaked these beans for about 12 hours, I'm going to come in and I'm going to drain them into a pot. So this is all, oh, that's nothing. Okay, so here we go. All right, so let's start, let's see here. Right when I come into frame, right there. All right, so let's go back a little bit. Let's try right here. You know what? Let's try right here when I'm out of frame. I'm going to cross dissolve to this shot here. Okay, unzip the lid. Put the peppers in the pot. And then dump everything into the pot to boil. All those soaked beans. Okay, I'm going to drop that on my timeline now, and let's see here. So we've got this shot, now is going to this shot, 12 hours later after the beans have soaked. I'm going to throw in a cross dissolve. I usually like a 10 frame cross dissolve, but let's see what I think that's well, it's not terrible. Let's see what a second one is. A 1 second long cross dissolve. Not bad. Yeah, I like that. Let's do a 1 second cross dissolve to show the passage of time. This is 12 hours later. Okay, dropping them in the pot. Pouring the beans in the pot. I'm probably going to stop this right there. Okay, and now I'm going to set in the next shot. Next shot is going to be putting this on the boiler. And again, remember what I said about action right when the action starts. So I'm gonna start like right here where it's about 3 frames. It's completely out of the frame here. I'm gonna go about 3 frames forward. I want like, I don't know, half of that pot in. I'll start it right there. Okay, I only want that up for a second because this is gonna be a quick couple of shots here. Going on to the next shot. This is another quick one. This is just turning on the burner. And I want it to be quick. I know that I did this twice because the second time I did it quicker. And again, action. I want the action to be started already. So I'm going to... I think I want to see a little bit of the flame coming in, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to drop that on my timeline. Okay, now another thing that I like to do in silently cooking is audio dissolves. Because I don't want hard cuts for every single... transition in audio. So I just go in and I just throw in a 10 frame audio dissolve on like everything. I'll play around with that a little bit, but what I also want to do here is for this shot right here, so I've got this quick shot right here and then this quick shot right here. This is a quick sequence of me putting in the pot onto the burner, cutting to the flame turning on, and then what I want to do is delete that there, because I kind of want these two to match, these two shots here. I think that the rhythm would be better if the cuts were about the same. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in this shot, where I don't want to see the water coming up to a boil, so I got a shot here where the water's already boiling. So what I'm going to do here in this shot is you see that it's boiling. I'm going to, oh yeah, the baking powder. I forgot I put baking powder in. So what I'm going to do here is, again, this is the action in the scene. My hand coming in and dumping in this baking powder. Baking soda, excuse me. It's not baking powder, it's baking soda. So I'm going to start about right here. Dump in the baking powder, it bubbles up, I put on the lid. Okay, that's about where I want it to stop. I'm going to drop that on there. But I threw in another shot in this sequence. I actually shot this one later. And this is the baking powder coming into my ridiculously dry hands. So let's go, yep, that was the one right there. Baking powder coming in. Let's use this shot right here where the baking powder starts to come out. And again, if anybody has any questions or anything, you can talk to me on the chat, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions about my process, what I do. Okay, and right when my hand leaves out, is when I want my out point. So now I'm going to inject this right into there. This is a longer, so I've got this one frame, this one shot here, which is 1 second, 10 frames. This one here is 1 second, 9 frames. This one here is 2 seconds, so it's about double. But I think, let's see how it looks. I kind of wanted them to be even, but more is happening in this shot, so I feel like it'll work. Let's take a look and see how this looks. Put the peppers in. Okay, not bad. I think it's a little bit slow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this one here. It feels like this shot should stop here. So as I was playing along here, I physically stopped the track, and then I cut out all that, what I felt to be dead space. Editing is, you know, there's a rhythm to it, and it's sort of like just a natural sort of feeling that you get. So that's, honestly, I didn't want to look at that shot anymore, so let's see how it looks like with it shortened. Yeah, that works a lot better. Okay. All right. You know what? That feels pretty good. I think that I'll, you know, I always go back and I kind of edit a little bit more to make it a little bit tighter and feel a little bit more natural. I don't really think I'm going to do that here because that would be, I mean, this is already pretty boring to watch, but I'm not going to go back and do everything so fine-tunedly like that. So what I actually imagined in this next shot is while I'm prepping the next thing, which is cutting up these onions, I wanted to have a shot of this back here, which is just boiling. So what you're going to do next in the actual recipe is you're going to just soak these beans overnight, and then you're going to boil them for about 1.5 hours. So in this shot, I'm going to have text down here in my silently cooking lower third, and then it's going to say, you know, boil for 1 hour to 1.5 hours. But I also wanted some action. You know, I didn't want to just have a shot of this pot boiling. Boiling water is boring. So in the foreground here, I shot this on my 100 millimeter lens and compressed everything in the shot. So that way over here in the foreground and then the right side of the frame, you can see me cutting up this onion. And here's a little thing. I'm going to drop down this shot, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video over here, and this is a full sequence of me cutting an onion. So we're going to have a little secret here that only us on the stream are going to watch. This is how I cut an onion. Everybody's done a video on how to cut an onion. This is going to be mine. So I'll play through this whole video in real time. It's like 30 seconds, and you can see how I cut an onion. I can cut an onion in 30 seconds, and I think that's, you know, that's something that I take pride in. I can cut an onion. Let's see here. Oh, you know what I wanted to do in this shot here? Right as I was cutting off the cap of this onion, I noticed in the shot that there's some nice steam over here. I wanted to get that in there, so I'm gonna, right here. Okay, so one thing is that I think my knife was a little bit dull there. I need to get that sharpened. I'm gonna start it right here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to drop that down. That frame, that shot is up there for 4 seconds. That's probably good enough in my opinion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have that lower third in there at the bottom that says boil for 1 hour. I have a template for that. Usually my process with silently cooking is I go through and I edit the whole sequence together. Then I go through and I edit the audio. So I tighten up the audio, make the audio sound good, and I'll do a little bit of that here. And then I do color grading, and then I do graphics and lower thirds last. But just because, you know, I'm probably not going to be able to edit the entire video here, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I do for that. So I'll make a graphics thing, which in Premiere 2018, which is what I'm running, because I can't have anything better, because I mentioned I'm still running Windows 7, so I can't have anything better than Premiere 2018. I'm going to go into the effects library here, and I'm going to type in L3, and that's this preset that I made for the silently cooking lower third, and I drop it in there, and boom, there it is. It says lemon lime. This is something that me and my wife created, this lower third here, and I'm going to say all caps, boil for 1 hour. That's good enough. Boil for 1 hour. I might go back and change that a little bit later. Maybe this contrast here isn't that great on the text, so I might increase the drop shadow on there. So it'll look like this. Boil for 1 hour. So over that 4-second clip, you know, I'm giving the instruction of boiling for 1 hour. But at the same time, I'm giving you something at least a little bit interesting to look at, is me cutting an onion. And that will be coming up next. Now, cutting the onion, I teased this a couple of seconds ago here. I apologize for the rumbling of water and that beeping. I'm going to make myself a little bit of tea here so I can stay hydrated. There we are. Thank you for abiding by me. If anybody has any questions or anything like that, I'm not only just doing this this stream here as I edit. I'm also want to chat with people. So if there's anybody who hasn't said anything or anything like that, speak up, because I want to say hi to everybody. So this is how I cut an onion. Right here. This is my 35mm Rokinon lens that I like very, very much. So I'll take my half of an onion after I capped it and got off a little bit of the root there, and then I just kind of do these little fan motions all across, and then I turn it sideways, and then I cut down, and then I cut down, and then I cut down, and guess what? I cut down again. And then I turn it on its side, and I cut a little bit more off, turn on the side again, and boom. And all that's left is this little nubbin. And then I take that and I put it in my freezer bag where I keep all my odds and ends of vegetable matter and things like that. And then I make stock later on. Andrew, you know, I'm not the food surgeon. You know that, Andrew. This is serious, everybody. We're in a global pandemic right now. I really don't appreciate these jokes about how I'm the food surgeon. Really just we need to come together as a country, and we need to realize that I'm not a food surgeon. Never was, never will be. My name is Cooper, and I live in Albany. The food surgeon's name is the food surgeon, and he lives in beyond time and space. I don't know if that guy's ever coming back. I like that guy's stuff. So when I cut an onion, here's the one half, here's the other half, and there's the two nubbins, and those go into the stock pot along with the onion paper and the onion skin and all that. Hi from Paris! Holy mackerel! What time is it in Paris, Charlie Cuckoo? Charlie Cuckoo? Wow, I got people watching this in Paris. There's 9 people. I bet all 9 of them are from Paris. All right, so the next shot. Hey, how you holding up over there in Paris, by the way? I hope that life is treating you well. This is some tough times that everybody is going through, and well, I hope that this is somewhat entertaining, so that way I'm providing a little bit of entertainment for the masses. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to be cutting an onion, and I want that to go into the next shot. I think that's good enough. Let's just do 2 chops. Because I'm not going to put the whole thing in, you know? I mean, it'd be boring to watch me cutting an onion for 30 seconds. Let me just drop that right in there. So we see in this foreground shot, there we are. It's 6 p.m. over in Paris, says Charlie. It is 1 o'clock over here. Oh, my dog's barking. She must see a child outside. All right, let's see here. So, you know what? I'm just going to kind of improv this. I'm trying to talk and edit at the same time and not doing a very good job on it. I wanted to have... You know what? Oh, this shot I wanted to use later on in the sequence. You could see all of this put together on Monday, by the way, is when this video is going to come out. All right, let's keep going here. All right, cutting garlic. That's the next shot. So what I got here, my knife kind of got stuck on the side there. That's a good sequence. Right there. Chop, chop. Pick that up, show it to you, bring it off frame. I'm going to drop that right there in the sequence. So now I'm cutting an onion. Then I'm cutting garlic. Oh, and I show that to the camera because I'm saying save this and put it in the stock pot. So I've got a couple of these big old ends of garlics. And yes, in this recipe, I'm using an entire small head of garlic. I will never, if a recipe calls for 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, I'm not going to do it. 1 or 2 heads of garlic, sure, I'll do it. 1 or 2 cloves, no. I don't do that. I don't play like that. Let's see here. So I think in this small head of garlic, there were like 10 little cloves. I like a garlicky bean. I like my beans to have some garlic in them. All right, let's see here. So after I cut off the end, I've got this shot of me smash. Let's have the knife coming in. Drop, smash, and then I'm going to end it right there. But all this, look at this, I'm like trying to take off this peel for like 12 seconds. This is dumb. This is bad video. I'm going to, let's see here. I think I want a shot of me putting down the garlic. Let's see here. There, right there, where I take off that last bit. There we go. Okay, let's stop there. 3 for 5. And now I'm going to move forward a little bit, and let's get on to chopping. The next shot is chopping. This is on my 24mm, maybe my 35, I'm not really sure. Quarantine in Massachusetts. How you guys doing in Massachusetts? You ain't too far from me. You ain't too far at all. Whereabouts in Massachusetts are you? And yeah, that's right, I'm talking to... oh no, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Irisev? Irisev, quarantine in Massachusetts. I've been to Massachusetts many a time, back when I was working for the TV station. I hope that quarantine is treating you well. It's treating us all right over here in the silently cooking household. I don't think I did a good job chopping this first one. There we go. See, I like this chop right here a lot better because my hands are actually gripping it properly, kind of properly. I'm not good at chopping either. Look at this gigantic piece of garlic right here. This is bad chopping. I'm not a professional cook. I am a videographer. Damn it. That sounds pretty good. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Good enough. Let's keep moving. Worcester. I know that place. I'm going crazy too. That's why I'm doing a live stream. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I've got, wow, 15 people. What the heck? Why are you doing this? You don't have to watch this. That's nice of you. Hey, 15 people who are watching this, if you want to say hi, then please tell me some things in the chat. Food surgeon, you guys are pushing my buttons. You're poking the bear. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? I'm not the food surgeon. I'm not the food surgeon. I did talk to the food surgeon once or twice. This was back in like 2014, maybe even 13, when he got really big, or they got really big. I don't really know if the food surgeon was male or female. So the food surgeon was awesome, and I really liked their stuff, but I guess they... I want to say when I was chatting with them, they mentioned that they were like somewhere in like Seattle or something, and they worked for some tech company. I honestly... I'm speculating. Do not quote me in any way, shape, or form, because I have no idea. I know that they did some interviews with Nerdist.com, though. They got really big. And I like their stuff a lot, but yeah, I guess doing YouTube videos was not their cup of tea, which I could totally understand. I mean, it's honestly not my cup of tea. This is not my full-time job, nor will it ever be. It's just a hobby that I love doing, and I like chatting with people. Speaking of which, if you have any comments, talk to me, baby. Talk to me in the chat. I want to say hi to everybody. All right, so in this last shot here, after I've chopped up the garlic, I think I'm going to move these chopping shots later on. Again, this is probably something I'll do off camera, but I'm just going to lay down a general timeline here. And then actually, you know what? Yeah, if you guys get bored and log off, log back on in like a half an hour or an hour or so, and we'll see the finished product. All right, in this last shot here, oh, excuse me. I'm going to be taking out these dried chilies out of the pot after they have boiled for an hour and a half, and then all those good beans are in there. It would be boring to watch two of them come out, so I'm just going to watch one come out. Okay, I go off frame there, and see how I stopped and came right back? Well, we're not going to show that. We're going to show as I'm coming out. See, the brain will think that I'm still coming out, but you guys in this stream are going to know better. I didn't do that in the actual video. Taken out, leaving, cut away, cut to this next shot, which is me chopping these up. Now, could I have done this entire thing as me, you know, finishing out that movement, coming in, putting down the board, and then chopping? Sure, but that's a lot to watch, so I thought, well, I'm just going to cut, it's going to be a smash cut right to me already chopping. So let's do that. So right when the knife comes down is when I like to make my cuts. Chop, chop, chop. Let's drop that down. And then I start rocking the blade, and for that I actually have another shot. I've got a close-up here. And let's do, well, let's see what this looks like. Choppy, 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 choppy. Oh, that looks pretty good. chop, chop, chop. Drop that down. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now we're going to start assembling this. So I'm going to drop in them onions. Ooh, actually first I'm doing a big old, like about 2 tablespoons of butter here and a bunch of olive oil. So I went with olive oil and butter. I guess depending on, you know, what you're trying to imitate here. If you're trying to imitate like a Southern American or Mexican like refried bean, I guess you would want to go with like lard or like bacon fat or something. Hey, we're in quarantine. I don't got that stuff. I've got butter and I had olive oil, so I went with that. So I went with 2 tablespoons of butter and I don't know, a big old glug of olive oil. Oh, which actually, that reminds me, I want to see the olive oil going in, which I have in this shot. Start it here. Okay, it goes in. Then I put in the butter. This is all going really slow, so I'm going to cut a lot of that out. Let's drop it in there, and then let's watch it back to see what I want to cut out. So the olive oil goes in. I want to cut right there. I put it down. I shake the camera, and then the butter comes in. Right as that olive oil comes out, I'm going to cut it right there, and then right as the butter comes in, I'm going to cut it right there. So it looks like this. Nice. Hey, so one thing that I do like to do with silently cooking is I like to play the whole thing back just to see like how my rhythm's going, how the video's going, and what I'm doing right here is I'm just going in and I'm throwing in those cross dissolves that I like to have in my audio. Let's take a look at this and see how it looks. And as it's playing, I'll answer, Cooper, how long does it take on average to completely edit one episode of Silently Cooking? That depends. I mean, this one here will probably take me a couple of hours, somewhere between 2 and 4 hours. Well, no, editing honestly probably only takes me about an hour, but it's uploading, writing the description, putting it on my website. That's where the extra time really comes in, and it ends up taking like half a day, which you know, it ain't a little bit of time. Oh look, you can see my camera in the pot there. So yeah, I would say silently cooking as a whole takes up like a whole weekend when I'm able to shoot it, which is why, you know, I don't do these all the time. I only do them when I can. I try to do them once every 2 weeks, but you know, life at home and my full-time job take priority and take up a lot of time. So sometimes I'm just not able to get there. So this is looking pretty good so far. I think that all this prep cooking and all that is looking good. Yeah, this is looking good so far. Chop, chop, chop. Oil goes in. Butter goes in. Butter swirls around. Boom. All right, that's it so far. And we have been going at this for about 40 minutes. So actually, yeah, with all this like talking that I've been doing while I'm shooting this, I think that it goes to show you that, you know, I can edit these pretty quickly. It's just that, you know, right now I'm talking and editing at the same time, which is a heavy lift. All right, so what I wanted to do was I'm going to cut on the swirl of butter. Boom, end it right there. So I'm going to end it right there, and I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to rewind, get the swirl of butter in there, drop that down, and then the onions come in later. So right when them onions come in, like right there, this frame, right where the onions come in on the left-hand side, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to go to the shot of the onions as I kind of push them around. And again, I like to cut on action, so right when the spatula starts coming in, that's where I make my end point. I don't want that to go in too far. Let's see. What do you think? What do you think of unusual ingredients like not widely used meats like pig heart or something? I would totally eat pig heart. I like to eat anything. I can't really get my hands on a lot of weird ingredients, but yeah, no, I think that if we're able to eat it, why not eat it? You know, I don't really. Yeah, like I just said, like I don't really get my hands on weird ingredients too often. I wish that I did more often. What's the weirdest thing I've cooked with? I don't really know. I don't really know what the weirdest thing I've ever cooked with is. If anybody has a weird ingredient, mention it in the chat because I want to know. In this shot here, I've got these onions. They're just starting to get, a little bit brown, like, here or there. I'm doing this at a pretty medium heat, and there's a lot of fat in there, and they're just frying in that fat. And then I put in that chopped up, rehydrated pepper. My dad is talking to me. He says, "You take away an onion, I can't cook." That one French guy who got didn't he get arrested for like something bad? I can't remember the guy's name. It's like Justin something, but wasn't he a bad boy? I don't know. Yeah, that's the guy, the Cajun chef, the guy who like talked saying all that stuff. I can't remember. Andrew's got bat. I'd eat bat. Yeah, I'd totally eat that. Andrew Loudon. It's people like him that, the reason why we're in this mess. Andrew just can't take anything seriously. Here I am trying to do a serious live stream for people, trying to teach them how to make beans on toast, and then Andrew's coming in with this nonsense. Shame on you. It's sad. Sad, really. Let's see here. Andrew, I got a question for you, and I want you to answer honestly. Do you like me? Do you like me, Andrew? You my buddy? Oh, I'm down to 6 people. Andrew's fault. You got me down to 6 people, Andrew. I had 15 watching at one point. Now I've got 6. Shame on you with your joke about eating bats. That's pretty good. Let's drop that. Whoa, that's way too long. Oh, you know what I'm supposed to do in this shot? Andrew Loudon asks me, but seriously, you edit with Premiere. Is that your favorite of all editing systems? It is. I actually like Premiere a lot. I love you too, Andrew. Andrew's my boy. I do like Premiere a lot. I've edited on Avid. I've edited on this weird program called Edius. I think I've never really gotten into like Sony Vegas, but I do like Premiere a lot. I taught myself how to make edit in Premiere. When I was in college, I learned on oh God, what was it? Final Cut. It was Final Cut 6 when I learned in college. I never learned on Final Cut X, but I got myself a version of Premiere when I was in college, and loved it. And so I taught myself how to use Premiere, and I think it's my favorite of all the editing programs. All right, so I'm going to throw in cumin in this next shot. And again, I want to stop right when the action stops. So right when my hand leaves the frame, I'm going to go back, see a little bit of that coming in, drop that in the frame. And actually, I'm going to ingest that right before this close-up, because I forgot in this close-up, I want to see the cumin coming into the shot. So I actually did drop it right in right there. And so I want to see right when the action happens, that cumin coming in. Boom, and stir. Drop that down. We'll throw in those 2 cross dissolves. Great Bit Arcade! Final Cut is bad. It is bad. I've never tried it. I don't want to try it. I'm one of those people who thinks that it's such a silly noob program. Alright, so what I'm going to do here now is... Hey, Great Bit Arcade, since I got you watching, what's your favorite editing program? Andrew Loudon asked me, and now I'm pushing it forward to you. You using Premiere, or Avid, or Adobe Rush, Windows Movie Maker. If you guys want to see some real good editing, check out Great Bit Arcade. It will make you lol. Let's see here. In this next shot, I got the beans going in. Let's see here. Let's see, 1, 2, there you go. Those little bean pumps there. Let's get a couple of those in there. And then dump them right in. Oh, listen to that. I hope that you guys can hear what I'm hearing from my actual computer to monitor. Alright, let's see here. Beans. Let's do a close-up of beans. I want to see more beans going in. Yeah, look at those beans. Alright, throw in them beans. Ooh, get that sizzle. And then let's go see some more beans. I haven't... You guys thought that you had enough beans? I've not had enough beans. Yes, look at these beans. Alright, so let's see here. I want to start on the action. You know how... Hey, I said it a couple of times. Remember I said it a couple of times? Cut on action. I want to start on the action of that beans being swooped. Let's get a couple of bean pumps in there. Hey, you know what? This one could start the shot, and then it could go to this one. Oh, let's do that, because you see that those bean pumps? See those little pumps there? I could probably put this shot right in there. Let's see. Let's see how this looks. And we're going to cut on the action here. So you see the beans going. All right. 1, 2. Okay, so now right when I get to the bottom of this, let's cut there. And then, oh yeah, and then right here, we're going to start as I'm coming up there. So you know what? If I just kill that right there, that should bring us together. Let's see how this looks. Here, let's throw in those audio dissolves that I have told you I know and love. And then let's drop this back, make it full screen, and watch it together. You guys tell me if this looks all right. Looking good so far. Okay, all right. Let's see how this cut looks on action. Okay, 1, 2. Oh yeah, that cut together pretty good. Dumping in them beans. All right. Ooh, dumping in more beans. Yeah. All right, that's looking good to me. And now let's keep going. So how's everybody doing? Everybody like say hi. Oh, Great Bit Arcade, you gave me a response here. Let's see what Great Bit says. I use Premiere for all of my edits. My old workspace. Hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be reading this. You guys can all read these. I'll just read it in my head. That'll be really good radio here. Let's see. I don't really like Avid. I feel weird saying that I don't like Avid because it's just too complex. To me, Avid I think is just needlessly complex, and I think that's one of the reasons why I just like the user friendliness of Premiere. Hey, how do these beans look? Yeah, look at those beans. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. In this shot here, what I really want to show, because that's what silent cooking is. It's not telling. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm showing you how to do stuff. That's why silently cooking is, you know, just so incredibly popular with my 18,000 subscribers. I'm showing you, hey, don't get rid of that bean juice. Put that bean juice in. You know, don't just put water in. Put that bean juice in. So after I smash these up, I mean, these beans are... they're mushy, which is what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mush them around a little bit, and then you see me doing that. All right, so I'm going to rewind this because I want to see me. There we go. That's good enough. You see me moving this around a little bit, and then I dump in that good bean juice. There you go, and then I start smushing it around again. Okay, and then I drop that down on the timeline. Andrew Loudon says, if you could do a voiceover, which one would it be? I've actually been thinking about doing more voiceovers. I won't be doing them anytime soon because my local library actually has a pretty good media setup with a fairly decent microphone. So the Sweaty Balls episode that I did, I actually used that microphone. Oh, I've got a close-up here of me stirring the beans. I can't forget to put that in. But right there, that looks good. so I've been using that microphone to do like the sweaty balls one, but this one here, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do voiceovers for a while just because the world is shut down and the libraries have shut down. So I mean, I might look into getting my own microphone. It's just that, you know, that stuff is expensive. I want to talk about this shot a little bit. So I was going to go from this shot to this shot, but I think that this shot works better here, so I moved it here. You know, it goes from this shot here to this shot, the wide shot of me dumping in the beans, to a close-up of the beans. This one here is a little jumpy, but I guess not really. When I cut or when I shoot, I like to have pretty tight differences between all my shots. So no, this isn't a jump cut, but it's just a little bit jumpy in my opinion, just because I don't know, I would want to be a little bit tighter or something. It actually really isn't that bad, but I'm just kind of talking a little bit about, you know, my process and all that jazz. That's looking pretty good so far. All right, that goes in. All right. Give that a little swirl. Cool. Hey, let me know if you guys have any questions about my process. If you got any requests on what you want to see me do. Just any questions in general. I like talking to peeps. Plus, this is the only way that I can talk to people. I can't talk to anybody in person. Oh, this is a shot where I'm adding salt. So I use that 100mm macro. Oh, okay. Listen to this. Listen to this nonsense. I hope that you guys can hear it. Can you hear that? That was my neighbor saying, "Oh, I'm gonna mow my lawn." So now I've got to redo the audio on that because my neighbor was mowing his lawn. Listen to this. So I've got to go in and redo that, but that's okay. I'll do that off camera. But hey, sweetening audio is something, I don't know if that's the right term, but so this shot here, you can hear me sprinkling in the salt. You can hear that kind of like rub of the salt. But there's also this drone of what would be either a leaf blower or a lawnmower in the background. I could probably put in some tricks to take that out here, but whenever stuff like that happens, I honestly just replace the audio myself. I'm going to go record myself sprinkling some salt again, just the audio, and then I'll just put it in over this shot. And forgive me while I pour myself a cup of tea here. I've been talking for like an hour. I haven't drank any liquids. Delicious. Alright, so let's keep going here. So there's this shot of the salt coming in, you know, season. Oh, by the way, this needed a lot of salt. This was about 1/5 of how much salt I ended up putting in. Let's keep going. Next shot, I put in a little bit of lemon juice. So we're gonna go. Andrew Loudon is asking me to crank up the video for Premiere. Honestly, I can't. It's as loud as it can go. Sorry, baby. That'll be something that I gotta fix in the future. Let's see here. Let's go to the lemon. So I wanted this shot of the lemon that cuts right there. Shunk. Unless, Andrew, if you have any tips on how I can upload, increase my audio, let me know. I'm going to stop right when the lemon exits the frame. I'm going to go into this next shot, which is me squeezing the lemon. I liked the I did this twice. Yeah, here's the second time. I like this one better. Oh, look at that good bean juice dripping off the side. Yeah, that's a good shot. And actually, another thing about this shot, I accidentally bumped up my shutter speed to like 1/200th of a second because I was taking a photo and I forgot to lower it again. But it actually worked in my favor because you can see those droplets of water really nicely since the video is so choppy. So I actually kind of like it. And I think in the next shot, I remember to drop my shutter speed back down to 50. I'm a good film boy, and so I shoot in 24 frames per second because I think it's superior. Let's see here. Get some stir in. Man, I stirred this for a while. Am I going to add liquid? Oh, there it is. Alright, so I'm probably down here, I'm going to have another lower third that says, like, add liquid as needed. And I don't want to see the... I want this to be already happening. So I'm going to start it here. Get a little bit of stir in there. Okay, we'll drop that in. Let's throw in some of these. Let's see here. We're going to go into... Oops. Oh, okay. So this shot here, to start combating the noise from my my neighbors mowing their lawn, this is just a shot of boiling liquid. So it's the bubbling. You guys probably can't hear it because my audio is too low. That sounds weird. It sounds like staticky. I might have to reshoot this one. Oh, no worries. I'll add that in later. All right, so we got the lemon going in. Oh, here's that good bubbling. All right, let's get the bubbling going in. Kate Loudon says, if you could only use one condiment for the rest of your life, what would it be? Mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise. I like me some mayonnaise. I dip my French fries in mayonnaise. I put mayonnaise on my pancakes. I put, don't knock it till you try it. I put mayonnaise in my coffee. I put mayonnaise, there's you guys have heard of picklebacks. I do mayonnaise backs, which is mayonnaise with, shot of mayonnaise with a shot of gin, or any liquor, honestly. Yeah, mayonnaise. And it's good for you, too. Careful with your choices, sir. This says a lot about a person. Oh, yeah, you're on my side. She just says mayonnaise. Yes, I agree. It's mayonnaise. I'm gonna ask that question to everybody else. What's your favorite condiment? Is it mustard? Is it mayonnaise? Guys, this is great stuff. This is great live streaming. This is the content that the kids on YouTube want to know. Talking about condiments. Come on, guys, help me out. Talk to me about your favorite condiments. I think there's a lot of lag. Oh, this is the part of the video where it becomes beans on toast. I was gonna shoot this as rice and beans. I actually went as far as to cook up some rice, put it in a bowl, plate it up and shoot it, but it just the contrast between how dark these beans are and the rice, my camera just wasn't picking it up very good, and I just didn't like it. So what I did was I reshot this as beans on toast. So I made myself some toast and then plated it up. So we went from rice and beans to a good old cowboy dinner of beans on toast. Or English dinner, whatever you want to think of it as. So this is going to be another quick succession. So I'm just going to do a couple of saws. There you go. That's good enough. And that's going to go in, and then I'm going to go to this. Oh yeah, did you guys? There we go. Scared you. I told you that there was going to be some jump scares in this. My brother wants me to play Fortnite. That is coming up next. I'm going to turn this down and pwn some noobs in Fortnite. I can't go anywhere with that joke. I tried. I hope that you're all laughing because I'm talking about Fortnite. Fortnite is really funny. All right, here's that shot of them bubbling liquid. And this is actually the shot that oh, look at that. That sequence looked pretty good. I like that. Let's go over here. I am going to put in that bubbling liquid right here. let's do, where is that? Oh God, that doesn't sound good. Right there. Okay, so I turned off my video, all my video, which I think if I clicked, yeah, if I click shift, it turns everything on and off. And so I've just got my audio on, so I'm gonna drop that down right there. And then now I've got different audio on this. Yeah, so now I can actually hear it. You guys can't hear it, but I can hear the bubbling of that. Yeah, there we go. Got that in there. All right. And now after the toast, we've just got like 3 shots left and we done. Let's plate this up. This is the shot where I plate it up. There's your toast. And again, I'm going to cut on action right when those beans start to just kind of right on there. There we go. That's when I want to cut. There we go. Beautiful. Perfect. I don't know if you guys can hear the audio that was recorded on that. Let's see here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, and then guess what I did next? I dumped some cheese on that. There it is. This is Old Croc brand cheese. If anybody is working for Old Croc, send me some money because I just gave you a product placement. So again, any representatives from Old Croc, there are 8 people watching the stream right now. If any of you work for Old Croc, please send me $1,000. I just mentioned your product 5 times. Okay, get that cheese on there. There you go. That's beans on toast. I'm going to cut to a close-up. Look what I did here. All right, this is on the macro lens. I did like a zoom in there. Oh, look at that. Bring that in. There you go. Boom, I'm going to drop that right there. I'm going to drop that there. Now this one here, when I get to this part, I'm going handheld because as I was bringing it in, I had one hand bringing in the plate and the other hand on my camera. So you can kind of see a shake there, which I don't really like. So I'm just going to go into the effects. I'm going to go into a warp stabilizer. I'm just going to throw a little baby warp stabilizer on there. Let's go to the warp stabilizer, drop that on. It's going to analyze. I'm going to go in. This is just how I like to do my warp stabilizer. I could go to no motion. I'm going to keep it on smooth motion. I'm going to drop this all the way down to 5%. Just a little baby warp. And then we done. Let's watch this and see if it's good for the 6 people who are actually still watching. I want everybody to stay safe, eat more beans, and keep watching this video because we're almost done. And thank you all for watching. This has been a lot of fun. I've actually enjoyed this. I had 15 people at one point. Look at that. That's more. I thought I would only have 10. Oh, we got to vote for mustard and barbecue sauce. Let's see here. How does this look? Yeah, that looks a lot better. See, that wave is gone. That little shakiness from my my crazy hands. Hey, we're looking at 3 minutes and 2 seconds for this whole video, which is pretty good. I like to try and keep these as tight as possible, but let's see what we got here. All right, let's watch this whole thing. We done. We've edited a silently cooking video. You guys can all give yourself a round of applause. I like to look at my whole timeline, and it's going to get more complex than this. This is kind of a silly-looking timeline. As I've been sitting here and talking with everybody and editing through this, I've kind of just made it as simple as possible. So this is just one in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other. I'm going to go by and I'm going to edit my audio next. I'm going to color grade all the shots next. I'm going to add in this little this little pink bit right here is the, what do you call it? The graphics. So I go in, I add graphics and... I need to throw in, I need to link this with After Effects and throw in that animated logo at the beginning. All sorts of stuff to do. All right, let's see here. Let's watch this back in celebration. Now, I don't know if you guys can actually hear the audio from the video, so I'm gonna do a golf commentary while we watch this. Alright, there's the lovely beans on toast. We're going to add water into a bowl. After the bowl is filled up with water, we're just going to add in a couple of dried peppers. You can use any dried pepper you want. Careful with those beans as you drop them in. Alright, get that lid on nice and fast. Those peppers do want to escape. And they will escape if you're not careful. Alright, after a 24-hour soak, we're going to move that aside. And we're just going to take those peppers out, put them right into the bowl that we're going to boil this in. You could soak in the same pot that you boil in, but for video, we've chosen a jar. Okay, you're going to add a little bit of baking soda while you're boiling. Boil that for a good hour. And while that boils, we're just going to chop up some onions. Just an onion, single onion. Chop up some garlic. Save that for the stock pot. Make sure you give that a good smash. Just chop up that, just a rough chop. Alright, after an hour of boiling, you're going to take out those peppers. Really mince them up. Get that into a nice paste. Alright, you're going to get your cast iron and you're going to add in some butter and some olive oil. Get that nice and melted. Nice. Alright, we're going to add in those onions and we're going to just kind of push them around a little bit. And get them nice and caramelized. Before adding in those peppers, we're going to add in those chopped peppers, a little bit of cumin, and garlic. Oh, I got to add in the shot of the garlic. I forgot the garlic. Oh, dear God! The beans are going to come next. We're going to add in just a couple of beans. Get that bean juice out. You want to save that bean juice. Don't throw that away. We're going to be using that later. All right, one more thing of beans in there. Lots of beans. Just add all the beans. And then what you're going to do is, after you smush up those beans, you're going to add in that liquid. Remember I told you long ago to save that liquid. This is where it's really coming to fruition. We're going to add in some salt now. You're going to add in some lemon. Add in a whole lemon. All the lemon you want, really. Alright, next up, we're going to add in that bean juice. Remember that bean juice that we saved? Keep adding it in. Just keep adding it in until it's the consistency that you like. That's nice. Looks like lava. Wonderful. All right, we're going to toast ourselves up some toast. Pour on those beans. Yeah, that's good. That's good. But you know what this needs? A little bit of cheese. Just a little bit. And there you have it. That's beans on toast. This has been Silently Cooking Beans on Toast. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a lot of fun. And I think I might do more of these. This has been fun. This has been enjoyable. We've done a whole Silently Cooking episode in only an hour and 10 minutes. So thanks for watching. I'll do more. Smash that subscribe button. And dab every day. YOLO. And I guess that's it. Bye, everybody. Oh, no, I don't want to record. I want to stop. No, I had such a good ending.